And a friend of mine from school died, a very close friend. And his mother came to me and asked if I would say something at his funeral. And I went to my mom and asked her, I said, you know, so-and-so died. His mom asked me to say a couple things as his best friend. And I said, so I'd like to speak and say something at his funeral. And my mother said, well, you can't. And I was shocked, and I said, what do you mean I can't? My mom said, well, you know, we're Catholic and they're Methodist. You see, I'm old enough to where when I was growing up, we still had what was called the Latin Mass. And when I was growing up, Catholics were not allowed to go in other churches. In fact, we were told to not even walk on the sidewalk in front of other churches because something might suck you in accidentally. And so we had to stay clear of it. And so my mom told me, she says, I'm sorry, but you can't go. And I started to argue with my mother, which I did pretty well and pretty regularly. And I said, you raised me to believe there's one God for all people. And my mom, I'm going to show you the beauty of my parents. She said, let us go and sit down with the pastor of our church, Monsignor McDonough. Monsignor McDonough was a very scary priest. I mean, he must have looked in the mirror and scared himself, and I'm not kidding. And so my mom and dad took me to sit down and have this meeting with Monsignor McDonough, and he said, why are you here? In his Irish brogue, and I explained the situation. And he said, well, your parents told you correctly, you cannot go. And I started to argue with him, and my mom kicks me under the table, and so I stopped. And as we were leaving, we're in my parents' 1960 Nomad station wagon, red, and I'm in the back, my mom and dad are in the front, and I'm upset and I'm pouting, I don't understand this. And as we're pulling out, my mom turns around and she says, we're taking you to the funeral. She said, there are times when it's okay to break the rules. She said, I just want you to know when you're breaking them and why you're breaking them. She taught me one of the most beautiful, wonderful lessons of faith that I've ever had. Since that moment, I don't care, as a Catholic, even to this day, I don't care what brings people to God. I don't care what motivates a person to find Jesus. All I want is them to find Jesus. I want them to find God. The path they take is up to them. So.